He starred in Stardust, he starred in the Chronicles of Narnia films, Prince Caspian and the Voyage of Dawn Treader. He's also currently in a film called Killing Bono. We talked to the British actor Ben Barnes in just a few moments. Plus, we're also after your calls and your texts and your emails about great days out across the three counties. Where do you reckon I should go today on a great day for heading out across the three counties? It's a bank holiday, so where do you suggest? 08459 455 555. And we're also going to investigate, are the best things in life for free? That and more between now and Justin Dealey at 1 o'clock.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Bank Holiday Monday at BBC Three Counties Radio, and I am delighted to say, as promised, our guest on the show today is the actor Ben Barnes. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for coming in.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
It's nice to see you. We should start off by saying that I've known you for quite a few years.
Yeah.
So we haven't just managed to wangle a top Hollywood and UK film actor to come out and do the show today.
No, you texted me and said,
would you mind doing the show?
Coming for an interview. I went, all right. See you tomorrow.
I kind of begged you to come in.
Wasn't really begging. Wasn't proper
I think I asked you a few months ago and you kind of said no.
I fobbed you off a bit with some sort of dodgy excuse.
And it's a bank holiday Monday. I was desperate. No one else was going to do it. I couldn't ring H from Steps. So
I'm a last resort. Is that what you're saying?
Anyway, it's good to have you
I'm upset
here.
now.
You've had a busy couple of years. Let's kind of explain to those people who are listening and going, he sounds nice, but who the hell is he? This is Ben Barnes, who has been in all manner of films, but you've probably seen him recently in films like The Chronicles of Narnia, Prince Caspian, or The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, or the Dorian Gray movie, which was a great success as well, wasn't it? And a lot of people liked it, and a lot of people saying very good things about you.
Yeah.
How does that sit with you?
And a lot of people saying not very nice things about me. It's just sort of the nature of this business that I've chosen, really.
Okay, so question number one: how do you deal with the positive stuff that people say about you?
I drink it in like a thirsty Labrador. I write it on my walls, and sort of I have a little shrine to myself.
Do you keep all the nice stuff? Does someone keep all the nice
my
stuff?
My mum keeps a little kind of scrapbook and box and says to me, you'll want this to show to your children.
So your mum is like the Bill Wyman of the Rolling Stones. Bill Wyman used to collect everything that the Rolling Stones did. No one else really cared in the band, and when it comes to Team Barnes, it's your mum.
It's my mum. It's my mum, absolutely.
I mean, there was some weird stuff that you were
And
on.
then my dad is sort of lord and master of the negativity. So he'll find all the bad stuff and sort of like print it and burn it or something. I don't know quite what he does with it, but it's very sweet. They're very, very, very supportive. Initially, actually, they weren't particularly supportive of my going into acting. They wanted me to go to university and get a proper job. And eventually when I sort of proved to them this is what I was going to do and proved to them that I could potentially make a living at it, they sort of started to support me wholeheartedly, and now they kind of live and breathe it with me. And my dad gets just as upset as I do if somebody writes something nasty, and just as excited when I get a new job or whatever. So they're kind of along for the ride now.
And my second question is, how do you deal with the negative stuff that is written about you, or do you not bother reading it?
I've learnt not to bother reading it. I think it's very hard when you start because you're very enthusiastic and you want to know that you're exciting people and you want to know you're kind of proving yourself, and you don't want to have the sort of wool pulled over your eyes. You don't want to be wandering around ignorant of what people may be saying about you. So you kind of you kind of read everything, and you're kind of thirsty to know about people's reactions. I think gradually you learn that if you accept the positive comments, you have to accept the negative comments, or you can choose to ignore both. I think it's much safer for your sort of emotional and mental health to choose the latter.
Kind of difficult to keep your feet on the ground, though, when you go into a supermarket, for example, as I did, and there was your face on the front cover of lunchboxes and magazines. When you step into a movie franchise like a Narnia film, it's hard for the ego to keep that in check, isn't it?
Do you know what? I went into Sainsbury's yesterday, where I live. And I was going through the till. The guy at the checkout was like, "Oh, what, mate? You look well like that guy in Narnia." I was like, "Do I?"
He meant Mr. Tumnus, though.
Thanks. yeah. I was like, thanks. So at the moment, I'm still, after sort of several years, at that point where people sort of, rather than come up to you enthusiastically, they kind of look at you a bit suspiciously, like like you might be mates with their sister or something, rather than I know you.
So let's rewind then. Let's go back to pre-Narnia and pre the movie success. And you were saying that your parents didn't want you to be an actor. Did you want to be an actor? And when did that love of film and also stage work sort of hit you?
I always loved watching films. That was, when my mates at school started going to the pub, and I was kind of a year younger than most people at school and sort of still looked really young all the way through my teens, so I could never get into the pub, so I went home to watch a film. And always loved watching films. And then I kind of came into acting through music. I was doing a lot of I was sort of playing drums in a big band at school, and singing with a rock and soul band, and doing lots of music stuff. And somebody came to my school to do some auditions for the National Youth Music Theatre, which is was a sort of semi-professional company for young people that did new sort of musical theatre projects around the world and around sort of all around the country as well. And it was the same company that Jude Law and Jamie Bell and Sheridan Smith, people like that, were sort of the alumni. And I did that for about 6 consecutive years. I sort of had to re-audition every year, and that's why I kind of got sort of most of my early experience. Really was doing those kind of productions, and sort of slowly but surely I sort of phased the music part of it out, and was left with the sort of passion for acting, really. And then interestingly, in recent years, or maybe not interestingly, depending on how interesting you're finding this interview, but the music part has kind of come back into it, and I've kind of been able to use a lot of my kind of playing instruments and singing in various sort of film and theatre projects I've done.
Was the History Boys really the first big break for you?
Yeah, I absolutely. I mean, I'd been going to see things at the National Theatre since I was about 10 years old with my mum and dad, and it was always my absolute dream to work there or for them. And I'd seen the History Boys in the original production. I thought it was brilliant. I thought, I can do that. I could be in that. And then they did a sort of a revival production, and I auditioned and did it for about 6 months, and it was absolutely magic. Listen, we'll be back and we'll talk more with Ben in just a few moments. We're talking to Ben Barnes today here on BBC Three Counties Radio.